baby, can I tell you that this is the first time ever that this part of the competition actually made me laugh. And do you hear me? Key. The program was off and I was still keying. Now that's what I call RuPaul's Drag Race. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for RuPaul's Drag Race. This is season 12, episode 9. Listen. As a whole, you all know I don't do the whole political thing on my channel. I don't. I just don't get into that. I have a feel-good channel. I do what I've always done. I make laughs and carry on and cuss somebody out. You know, I do that. But I don't get into the real heavy political stuff. Never do. Don't find any entertainment in it. And every year when we roll out the show and they do this whole thing, I'll definitely say, you know, register to vote, make sure you're staying on voting. And that's about as far as I'm going with it. Unless there's something going on like we have the pandemic going on now. Something I can't get around speaking on. But debates and all of this is not the channel for that. You will never find those things here. So every season when they do the episode, when they do the whole drag queen for president and all, I'm like, and I just, it's generally boring. It's generally a boring episode. Well, can I tell you that this year, why was the drag queen campaign debate more fun than Snatch Game? Because I thought they had one of the worst Snatch Games of any season this year. Baby, this campaign debate was hilarious or hilarious. Anyway, we're going to talk about it. So, beginning of the program, first thing we saw was Widow. And Widow, the way Widow was talking after everything that happened with the whole Chaka Khan thing last week, it seemed as though Widow had a fire that had been relit up underneath her bum, honey. So I said, okay, come on. So I was excited to get back to the Widow that I fell in love with in the beginning. Because remember, when we started, I was totally Team Widow. And then, after a couple weeks in, I was like, Widow, girl, where'd you go? Where'd you go, sis? So, it seemed as though a fire had been lit back up underneath her. And wait, did y'all catch Miss Sherry trying Miss Widow? I said, oh, no, Miss Sherry now. When she told her girl something about her being in the bottom, said you've been in the bottom more times than one, honey, and you've been flatlining. I said, see, this is a direct example of when talking shit goes left. Just completely goes left. Because karma came back around and the person that flatlined Miss Sherry was you. Yes, and I meant that with all the shade. Because who are you, bitch? I don't like that. Y'all know I don't like that cocky, bitchy, picking karma. Honey, when you dig a hole and you flatlined. You flatlined and got turned over. But whatever, girl. Anyway, I didn't appreciate that. I didn't like it. So, the mini challenge. And I know y'all knew I was going to pick up on that and say something with my ignorance. The mini challenge was Hey Kitty Girl. You know, I like that little song. Hey Kitty Girl. I like that little song. But Hey Kitty Girl was cat drag, honey. They got in the cat drag. Listen. Miss Jackie Cox, let them have it. Baby, her Eartha Kitt was so on Baby, she was laying back in that kitty litter and just kitty litter and just giving them a perfect performance. I was here for it. I said, oh, Miss Jackie. She tore it up. She really did. She got into that character and she stung that character. And coming up behind her, see, I said I thought there was a fire that had been lit up underneath Miss Widow. But no, the firecracker actually shifted. There was a fire that got lit up underneath Miss Jaida. This was the Jaida Essence Hall episode. Period. Hands down. Y'all better get into it. Miss Jaida came alive for me. Now, I've been watching her, and she's been... Miss Jaida is a pageant girl. She's a pageant girl in every sense of the word. I see my sister and everything she's doing and how she's doing it, and the bitch is staying consistent because we all know that what wins a pageant? Consistency. Not this shit. Win a challenge, lose a challenge. Win a challenge, be in the bottom. That's not what wins a pageant. Consistency wins a pageant. Never be in the bottom. Never be in the top. You could come straight through and win the pageant. Consistency has always won a pageant. And RuPaul's Drag Race, for real, they talk all that shit. RuPaul's Drag Race ain't nothing but a pageant. Nothing but. There have been girls such as Bianca, who never fell in the bottom. She didn't really do a lot of up and down. She was really just consistent all the way through, and she won. You know, she was just undeniable. Consistency. Consistency wins the pageant. That's just the way things are. I didn't make the rules. It's what it is. So I've been watching Miss Jaida, and I've been seeing her, you know, not a whole bunch of highs and lows, but the bitch is consistent. But she opened up the shell and said, okay, well, it's time to really make sure that they're paying attention to me. And this was the episode. She shined through in this episode. Now, Jackie Cox was flawless in the Kitty Girl Challenge. Jaida was funny and flawless. She gave you the whole Catwoman thing, baby. When she climbed up the little kitty pole and fell down in the split, honey, and I don't know, but her comedic timing was so on. And it's hard to believe that she's probably not funny like this all the time. I just think they just haven't been catching it on film. Because when she slid down the pole and Ruth said, seems like a girl always falls on her feet. And she said, yes. I said, oh, Jada. She was just, everything that was thrown out at her, she had a comeback. And I'm just thinking, I don't know Jaida. I've never met Jaida personally yet. And it's hard for me to believe that she's just not that funny and witty and on it all the time. I think it just hasn't been being caught on film. But this was definitely her episode. So, y'all know who I was living for Jaida this time. So, Jackie Cox actually won the mini challenge. So, it was cool. There was a lot of talk about Jackie and her family and, you know, the struggle between being from Canada and being here. She's actually here on a work visa. There was a lot of talk about that. I'm not going to focus on that kind of stuff. It was important. It was interesting. It was. But this just ain't the review for that. I ain't going deep into that. I definitely feel for her. I feel for her family. But this is just, I'm not the reviewer to play in all that. So, there you have that. So, don't write in my comments. I didn't forget anything. I didn't intend to talk about it. All right. So, moving on. Maxi Challenge is Choice 2020. And it was this campaign debate. I sat and I was ready. I was sitting on the end of the bed. I was like, here I go, honey. I'm going to have to get my little ink pen and figure out how to glamorize what I'm watching here, because I know this is getting ready to make me bored. And I'll have to glamorize it for my folks and come on through with this review. Baby, how wrong was I? Rachel Bloom and Jeff Goldblum were the guest judges. And let me say this. Child, get ready to soapbox. Jeff Goldblum. See, I'm old. I'm an old bitch. So when I think Jeff Goldblum, I don't think the dinosaur stuff. Okay, I don't think the dinosaur stuff. I go all the way further back to when he was young. I go back to The Fly. Jeff Goldblum has always been very awkward looking to me. And then when he turned into that fly, it just was what it was. I always thought he was a phenomenal actor, but he never gets my blood moving, honey. But when you look at him now, and I've noticed this over years, but I really, haven't been anywhere and spent this much time with Jeff as this hour and a half last evening. And Jeff Goldblum is sexy. In his later years, he actually has a whole, some people just grow into their thing. He has definitely grown into his sexy. Jeff Goldblum had like sex appeal. I was like, Jeff done messed around and got sharp and all suave hair, all beautiful. I said, well, okay, Jeff. Meanwhile, the whole time, Michelle Visage isn't there. So she keeps popping in via wherever the hell she is. And they really juiced it up, and it was being very funny because Rachel Bloom, who I'm not really all that familiar with, being around her or watching her, bitch is funny. Do you hear me? So it was being built, this whole thing, like, who is that girl sitting in my seat, honey? And Rachel's giving, cut the commercial, honey. And they kept cutting Michelle off. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was very well done. Funny as hell. And on both parts, Rachel and Michelle's part. And Rue kept getting into it too. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And Jeff Goldblum was given very much of Michelle was coming for him via satellite, giving, honey, call me, honey, just one night. I just want one night, Jeff. I was like, okay. It was funny. But anyway, so when they do the walkthrough to talk about the girls' campaign and what direction they were going to go, they had a visit from Raven. Now, you have to follow Raven to really know Raven, because when you look at Raven, Raven has resting bitch face. So you would really think that Raven is just a bitch. But Raven is sharp. That bitch can do some makeup. And Raven will pull a look on you. Because see, Raven is Drag Race's Demi Moore. I remember when she first came on and she did the black straight Chinese bangs and the real long hair and had the black dress with the back out. It was a halter. I was like, this bitch is giving me Demi Moore from Charlie's Angels. Just sultry and slick and a few words. So you got to watch Raven. But Raven is funny. When you get her, and it's real, she is her humor is dark and it's fast. And she was walking around that room with them, and I was like, Raven, stop. She was killing me. Killing me. But when they ran over there to Heidi, see, Heidi, girl, you a thief. I'm here for it, bitch, but you a thief. They said something, honey, and Rue and Raven said something about her cat. And that's what it was, honey. And that's what they said, honey. It was like more stuff. She's like, I'm telling you now, before we even go any further, I'm still in that, honey. I said, okay. Smart girl. Widow. I start seeing Widow disappearing. She was getting into this thing. It was weird. It was like she started shrinking. And that damn Raven told her, she said, girl, where'd you get them biscuit baskets, honey? Do you have some type of paperwork that allows you to wear those biscuit baskets? I said, girl, she's talking about her shoes. And she's like, yeah, I just, I wear them because I know if I got the lip sync, then I'll be ready. I'm like, girl, I don't give a damn. You just go barefoot. You ain't going to be wearing them goddamn shoes. Girl. Them shoes is horrible. But anyway, she told her, bitch, stop preparing to be in the bottom and you'll stop being in the bottom. I agree. and stop wearing them damn shoes. So, shit. Moving on. On Jaida, I knew it was going to go down with Jaida. I said, what is she doing? When Jaida told him, they said, have you ever been in a debate? Rue asked her. She says, no. And Raven was like, I have a hard time believing that this bitch ain't never been in a debate. She said, oh, no, baby. I'm a real bitch. I don't debate, bitch. I argue. Guilty. Guilty. I don't debate, bitch. I argue. I don't give a damn what you. I ain't waiting on you to say that, bitch. I'm getting ready to drag your ass out of here. I don't debate. I argue, bitch. I was dying. I was like, now, bitch, I'm here for it. So I was like, I got my eye on you, Miss Jaida. You great, show yourself. So we move on and we go into the whole debate. Child, listen. What Raven said, honey, I am of the bitches and here for the bitches. I said, and Rachel bust out and played right back off of it, was like, yes, indeed. I've never heard that, but I am definitely on board for being here for the bitches. And I was like, really, Rachel? So right then, there was like this thing that just started happening. And it was between Jaida and Rachel. And before long, Jeff had gotten into it. And I was like, that goddamn Jaida is wearing this shit out. Jackie got caught in a thing of playing on the thing of her being from Canada and slipping up, making mistakes and saying Canadian stuff. It was funny the first time. And then after that, it wasn't funny no more. Sherry went into her old lady act and ruined them. Even they were like, girl, okay, it's getting tired. Like 12 different versions of this old lady is just getting to be tired. And that Rue said that in those words. Girl is tired. I said, oh, Rue. Oh, okay. But she does do it well. But, okay, we've seen enough of it. Child, listen. Jaida kept starting out. Then Jaida, she said this, that she's not no real political person. She's not really into politics. Guilty. She's not really into it. She don't really like talk about it and all that. So she played it left. She played sex kitten, and she was throwing everything off, which was hilarious. She was like, child, listen. She was like, I am here for the bitches and things. It's hard. See, I don't know what these whores are doing. When she called the other contestant these whores, do you know who was on the floor? James and Milan were both on the floor. I was squalling. I said, bitch, she did not just call them whores. And the way she said it, like they wasn't shit out of it. I don't know what these whores are talking about. And then Jeff Goldblum asked her something, and the bitch ain't know what he was talking about. She gonna say, look over there. Child. He said something. She said, see, confusion. It was so funny. It was so funny. I said, bitch, listen. Deflection turned into comedy and humor. I was so here for it. That was so smart. It was so smart. It was so well done. It was hilarious. And that Rachel just was not helping. It was hilarious. And every time Michelle tried to call in, girl, she's like, girl, cut the commercial, child. Girl, something's wrong with her mic. Cut her off. I was like, oh my God. Gigi, on the other hand, Gigi, not political, but Gigi gave more dingbat. And she was trying to rest on a character she did previously, trying to do that robot. This is like the third time that we ran into this robot thing. Okay, girl. And Rue gave that. Girl, that's tired now. It's tired. Child. So, this shit was funny. It was hilarious to me. And the debate was absolutely better than the Snatch Game. This is the first time in all the seasons, All-Star, all of it, that I ever had fun with the debate. The debate, funny. Heidi, funny. Heidi was catching the jokes, and she didn't have a whole bunch to say, 'cause she's not a political person either. She didn't have a whole lot to say, but she gave you silent humor. People were saying stuff, and she was giving, woo! Her facial just stuff was funny. And then Widow gave you, she knew too much. She was too accurate on what the issues really are that we're dealing with, and it wasn't funny. Heidi got more use out of what Widow was doing than Widow, because Widow ended up saying something about people being ill-informed and not educated, which is the complete opposite, because Jeff Goldblum is very involved and very on top of things. And she said, honey, that goddamn Heidi looked and said, oh, and fell on the floor. Bitch. Fell on the floor. And then her in this whistling through her goddamn gap. Hilarious. And she was like, and making these, it was hilarious. This was really, really good. It really was. So after that, they did Stars and Stripes Forever was the runway. And I'm getting ready to tell you how sometimes for one category something is a standout, and for the same little situation the category changes and it plays totally against you. Stars and Stripes. Naturally, everybody thought red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. And that's what they all did. They all did some version of red, white, and blue, except for Widow. Widow came out in black, white, and silver. She had stars, big stars. She's a big girl, so she went with big stars placed on a gown. She looks really nice in gowns. She really does. She looks really nice in gowns, because she's a big girl, but she could put on a gown, baby, and it be fitted to her. She looked really nice in gowns. She had it on and had an afro, and it was given very black power. And again, it was coming across angry, but like it was that angry. Why? And black power don't always have to be angry. It's not. You could even do the thing with the fist and the afro, and it don't always come across angry. We're not all angry, but it worked. It was a beautiful silhouette, beautiful gown, and the fact of putting on a gown with an afro, it was like very prideful. I was very prideful with it. I was like, all right, girl. She looked good. Bitch looked good. She really did. And she stood out like a sore thumb, because when they lined the girls up, everybody was in black, red, white, and blue. And that bitch was standing there in black and white. And it was stripes and stars, which is what the category called for. The category didn't even call for patriotism. It was stars and stripes. It could have been anything with stars and stripes. That was the stuff. And I mean, all of them were good. Like, they were all good. They really were. But the standouts were Widows, Gigi's, because Gigi looked like a period piece. She just looked like she walked right out of a history movie. And it was a fashion, a whole upscale fashion moment of it. She had, the hair and everything. That white hair with the little rolls and the little ponytail and the little hat with the feather and all. It was like perfect. Like she walked right off the pages of a book. And sexed it up. And Miss Jaida, please. Jaida gave you the new Black Wonder Woman, honey. And when I looked at her, all this red, white, and blue, and all these stones, and the boots, and everything was all one big piece, and sexy, sexy, sexy. And I just looked at her when she walked out. I said, "Girl, da 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 da. All the world is waiting for you. Come on, bitch." She tore it up. Tore it and had a mohawk. I said, "Girl, yes, ma'am," and had red, white, and blue up in her bangs. And it wasn't like matchy, matchy, matchy over there. It was hot. It was hot. It was drag on 20, honey. It was, bitch, yes. It was all that. And then Jackie Cox. Jackie Cox looked beautiful. She had like a hijab on and a caftan, and it was layers and layers of chiffon placed in all the where the colors were distributed in all the right spots. So when she moved certain ways, and then it had the stars, there were 50 stars on her hijab and all of that, and it just she made a political and a religious statement, and it was just very pretty. It was very pretty, and then it did lead to a conversation, and it ended up working out for her later on. But it led to a conversation, and they got real deep about the whole politics and the religion and her family and how her family was her family has been separated, and her aunt can't get here to help her mom, and it just got real deep. Got real deep. So she got everybody's mind. She got everybody's mind. Okay. Jaida won. Didn't surprise me at all because she absolutely drugged these whores, like she said, all throughout the whole episode. So now we had Jackie and Widow. Jackie and Widow. Down here for the whole lip sync for your life. And this is when it got very, very deep. It got very deep to the point that it drove Jeff Goldblum to tears, which actually it tells the whole story of he's very connected to what's going on. And he's really into it and all of that. And then just this time that's been spent with the girls, he was totally engaged, and he was driven to tears because this is when I say it works in one thing, and it did. Widow was the standout amongst the stripes and stars because she was different. But then when they went into their lip sync for your life, the song was Katy Perry, Firework, which I love. I love that song, and it was appropriate. It was appropriate. It didn't work for Widow though, because with Widow having on black and white, she literally, the song is up here. The song is all about this patriotism and fireworks. Fireworks are always colorful. Our fireworks are always wrapped around a red, white, and blue theme. No matter where you go. I don't care if you're at the amusement park, whether it's 4th of July. The theme is always red, white, and blue, and there's some gold thrown in there. And we'll see a little green and some other stuff. But the base of fireworks is always red, white, and blue. And you're singing, baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst, and all of this. And this is when Jackie Cox's outfit literally just came alive, because her outfit told the story. She actually verbalized it, but the outfit was telling the story all about how everybody, the United States of America is for everyone. It's for everyone. It's for people who are born here. It's for people who are not born here. We are the roadmap of what good life looks like. And everybody wants to be a part of what we got going on. We are the cool kids. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but when it comes to the world at large, United States of America, we are the cool kids. And she embodied the song, the performance. She performed her ass off. And then, Widow was doing her best. She was doing her thing. But Jackie actually embodied you too, because black folks and Africans got swept right into the whole red, white, and blue, and everybody's included. And you being dressed in all that black, you just basically faded into the background. And when she started swinging her caftan around, it was over. It was over. It just, It was one of them things when the planets was lining up and the music was lining up, and she created a moment, which I tell y'all all the time about drag for me. Drag is about, I don't care how pretty you are, I don't care how expensive your clothes are, or how many different clothes you have. Drag is all about creating a moment. One moment could stand out like forever over your whole drag career. Like, I've done tons and tons of shows. I mean, I've been doing drag for over 20 years. And I could give you 2 or 3 moments. They're moments that were like moments in time. And they outweigh every performance that I've done over the 20 years. It's just those specific performances stick out my head. And those are the ones that I'm proud of. Those are the ones that I remember doing. Those are the ones that people remember seeing. Because drag is about that. It's about a moment. And you never know what day and what song you're going to be doing that the planets line up for you. It was Jackie Cox's night. And she embodied it. She won. She got to stay. Widow was eliminated. Jeff Goldblum was completely in tears. One, about the whole thing that was going on and the way things shifted in the atmosphere. And also, I think he was broken about watching. It was hard watching Widow and how her spirit was broken. They even had a conversation before they even went into it. You could see her spirit was broken. She's like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I've done all that. And I'm like, girl, stop, honey. And Ru, like, it got so bad till Ru was like, stop it, bitch. You know? It was bad because she fell into a place of self-pity. And then I didn't feel sorry for her anymore. I was like, okay, I wanted her to shut up and go on and get home, honey. Go. Is her Uber here? Because it went into like all self-pity. But yeah, it broke Jeff Goldblum down. I felt bad for Jeff. What a sexy self, honey. Anyway, but it was an excellent episode. Y'all see I've been talking for 30 minutes. I don't know what you do to it. Anyway, it was a good episode. This was Drag Race. I will rewatch this episode. It was funny. It was good. The lip sync battle was fabulous. The clothing was great. It was, this was somebody's first time watching Drag Race, they would definitely come back. It was one of those episodes. I loved it. Anyway, all right. I will see you all next week. Later.